Hello and welcome today to our presentations to the GIS Spatial Solutions. Today we're going to be looking onto one of the most peculiar topics in GIS, Geographical Information System. The chapter is being given in Arabic and in English based on the language preferences that you need. And we're going to be looking through GIS today, and there are other chapters, right? If you would like to take the course along, we're going to give you just a snapshot and overview on the GIS, right? The global position system, the remote sensing, the photogrammetry, the maps, and as well the disaster recovery and how GIS overcomes those disaster recoveries. So we're going to be looking onto throughout the chapters. Once we take it with us, right, for 15 hours, we're going to be looking on what is the definition of GIS, what is a GIS foundation, what makes the data being spatial, all the data types, right, whether they are nominal or linear, or they are ratio or interval data models, okay, and methods, metadata, and GIS functions. So basically, when we look onto the definition of a geographical information system, right? So GIS, it is an organized integration in between three important components: hardware, software, and the data, right? The geographical data. So the hardware, it could be your computer, your hard disk, your laptop, right? The server that you have that resides your database, your application, your security onto it, the software application that appears in the application side, the geographical data, which includes into your database, right? And the information, whether you have obtained it as a vector, right, or a raster. But that's what you're going to be taking throughout the chapter, right? So basically, those are the three integration components of the GIS, and those, they help us in order to capture the data, to store the data, to display the data, to edit into the data, and as well to analyze the data and to share the data so that we can have a good information that helps us to plan and to manage, and as well to have geographical reference data. So resolve complex problems of planning and management. So GIS tools, as we're discussing, right, it has great advantages, okay? It allows to perform interactive requests, right? As well, it helps us to perform analysis, right? As well of the geographical data. As well, it helps us to know where to display the data onto the maps, right? It can show us the heat area, where there's a sunny areas, there is a rainy area, there is a floods in a certain area, and it presents as well all the operations are being taken, whether we have a search and rescue and that area is being taken, right? It provides us through the maps. So GIS, Geographical Information System, right? It is the way in which we integrate, as we stated, the hardware, the software, and the data in order to capture, to store, to check out, to integrate, and to manipulate, to edit into the data. Spatial data, it means that you have a feature or an entity, right, that it resides on the Earth's surface area, that has a space, it has a location, and it has a reference, right, the relationship with other spatial data. So when I say a spatial data, it means that I have a feature that has a longitude, latitude, it has a direction, it has an address, it has a PO box, it has a gratitude, it has a let's say a boarding, right? I'm able to read. It has a certain bearing. Okay, so to give a description of that feature. For example, if I give a street name, right? Let's say in Makram Abid, right, in Nasser City. So Makram Abid is a street name that's located in the the governorate of Nasser City of Cairo, right? So here I have a feature, but when I say what is the longitude, that's a spatial data for it. But when I say the name of the street, when I say the address of the street, I say those are known as the attributes, the information that provides the entity or the feature, which is the Nasser City, right? It provides us with the name of Makram Abid, right? The feature. It gives us the descriptions about it, right? So remember, a spatial is something which gives us the direction to it. But when I give a name, when I give a PO box, they are called the attributes information of the spatial data. So the spatial data, it is being either you display it onto the maps where you can give all the locations, right? Or you can record it in the database. You can use different sort of database such as Postgres, which supports raster data, shape data in the form of shape, SQL database. And as well, we have the raster data, which is an image, right, that it takes on the form of a grid, right? And you can show the real world in a small sample diagram, right, in the form of a satellite image, right, that displays the areas where there will be raining, whether the areas there was a sea level, where there's any deserts, right, so you're able to show it through a raster data. Okay, so the spatial attributes provide us with the information description. For example, if we have a certain road, so the description name on the type, okay, of the road is known as the secondary highway third class. That's called the attribute, which is a non-spatial attribute data. Or you take it as an information that provides the spatial itself, the road name, which is the spatial data being provided. Data is being presented in a database in a form of a tabular data, okay, and attributes which are not spatial but are linked to the location data. So, for example, let's say I have a cave or I have a shelter, so that's called a spatial. But once I say that it's the name and the address and the capacity, that's the non-spatial data. So shelter is a spatial feature, while the associated, the attributes of the name, the address, the capacity, the PO box are known as a non-spatial attributes, which they provide with the information to that. But when I say the longitude, latitude, X and Y location onto the map, that's called a spatial attribute because I'm defining the location of it. Similarly, when I say the pools, right, north or the east or the west, that's again a spatial attribute. So non-spatial attributes, they have a name, address, and a capacity, right? So data types, they can be either nominal data type, they could be ordinary, they could be ratio data type, or they could be an interval data type. In order to have the definitions and you know what is the nominal data types, what are the, which are used in the geospatial solutions, right? In order to know what we call a ratio, what's an intervals, and what's a ordinary, although we're using a binary or we're using what we call an isotropic or a chloroprotic, so chloropath. So all of that, okay, you need to take the chapter so that you will able to understand, right, what do you mean by a road, what's a corridor, what is a raster, what's a vector, what's a point, what's a polygon, what's a line, what's a typology, right? So all of that you need, or topograph, you need also to have the chapter with us so that you will be able to understand further. And as stated, we do provide the course in Arabic and in English based on the language or preferences that you like. Thank you very much. This is Muhammad Ahmed Zaki, and wish you a good day.